Hello and welcome to another episode of Brand Retro. Today I'm going to kind of attack a topic that's come up here in the last couple weeks, and it's kind of a freestyle approach to the topic just because it's top of mind, but it's the idea of brand offense. Where this conversation is coming from is I've had clients, I've had marketing professionals ask me, I think partially because of, the COVID-19 pandemic, but I also think it's because as we're creeping towards fourth quarter, people are wanting to make adjustments to their business. And the question is, if I up my pricing or if I change, X, Y, and Z, is that going to be viewed as a negative to the client? Or am I going to experience client kickback? Am I going to get customers who drop me or stop following me? And it's this concern that making these business adjustments and these business changes are somehow going to negatively affect their business. Now, anybody who's managed a brand, ran a business, that that's always a concern. You're always making decisions for your business that are best for your business and best for your customer. And sometimes it's to maintain a certain quality. Sometimes it's to, adhere to a set of principles or a culture that your business has. But any decision you make can somehow have a cause and effect or some kind of a ripple effect to the client or to the customer. That's natural. That's completely normal. What I would tell you is that it's a mindset thing, in that you have to get behind your own brand and you have to get behind the reasons why you're doing what you're doing. So the client that I was talking to is an online retailer, and because of the pandemic, because she was not able to get, all her product over from overseas, she's got a handful of reasons why she needs to evolve the way she's marketing her products. And part of that is a price increase. The question was whether or not, when's a good time to raise prices? So do I raise it during the holidays, after the holidays? Do I wait? How's that going to be viewed? And the reality is, and what I told her was, you have to shift your mind to be more of an offensive minded person or offensive minded brand versus a defensive brand. And what that means is, you want to play offense because you're looking to score, you're looking to make something happen, you're looking to do good things. And that's what every business owner and every company and brand, we should all be proactive and optimistic and looking for ways to build and grow our brands, grow our businesses. But the point I was somewhat making to her that's a little bit behind the scenes, for her, it's a mindset thing. It's how you tell that story. It's how you position that story. Instead of, worrying about how the perception is going to come across to your customer and preparing to play defense or preparing to defend the position and the decision as to why it is what it is, tell a story that's authentic, tell a story that's true, and tell a story that's a positive for them. The offensive version of this is that, we have continued to not only maintain, but to grow and improve our quality. And this is the end result of it. And that's why you're yes, you might be paying a few dollars more for said items, but at the same time, we are not only maintaining, but we're providing you more value for that dollar. Craft that story and control the narrative for your brand so that when you're making these business decisions, you're able to tell that story in a way that leaves your brand lover, leaves your customer knowing, believing, and feeling like you just did them a favor, because in many ways you did. Most people, when they stop and think about it, understand that there's decisions and costs and margins and different things that go into business. And if they stop and think about it, I don't know that they're going to argue or not get behind that. But if they just think you raise those prices, or if you let them believe that you just raise those prices for the sake of raising prices, then yeah, they're not getting the whole story. You're not really giving them a fair chance to understand what all kind of goes in, behind the scenes. So the idea of being an offensive brand is to be proactive, to control the narrative, and to tell that story in a way that not only the customer understands, but they're left feeling the reason why is a benefit. So the best defense, obviously, guys, is the best offense. And it can be the ultimate differentiator, for how your brand is portrayed and when you're making business decisions, how that is received from the customer. Again, it's being proactive instead of reactive. Long story short, be on your heels, be ready to defend when needed, but control that narrative. 90+% of the time, tell that story the way you want it to be told. It's a balance of confidence. It's a balance of, being prepared and being able to be prepared in a way that tells an authentic story for your customer. That's just one example of, what's kind of happened, in the last couple of weeks, questions that I've been asked, especially about, kind of how's this customer perception thing going to go coming into the fourth quarter of this year that's been so crazy. So the magic question is, how do I get that message out there in a way that kind of dovetails into my current marketing efforts? Obviously, if you make, if you create too much space around it, it's not going to look natural. And there's a way to do it that, makes it seem like it's an everyday part of the process, which realistically it is. So that's what you want it to appear as. What I had kind of explained to this customer is that, let's look at your different marketing channels and how you're communicating to your customers. If you have a blog, write a blog about it. Write a blog about, the challenges of, hey, here's some of the things we're running into. Here's what we're doing to, combat that. And here's what we're doing to maintain not only the quality we had, but going forward, making it even better. Use that as a way to kind of tell that story. The other way to do it is through social media. Talk about these different adjustments that you're making. Maybe it's on a Facebook Live. Maybe it's creating a series of posts or campaigns that go out and change the narrative again. Instead of talking about, price changes and kind of using those negative trigger words that they're used to hearing, switch the narrative and call it, a certain fall or holiday campaign with exclusive X, Y, and Z pricing. Call it, basically use the different words, the more positive words that help them understand or help them feel like, oh, this is something different, or this is exclusive, or this is something I want to be a part of. Because using words like price change, using words like, hey, we've had to raise, it all kind of has that funk to it. It has that negative connotation to it. You want to change that narrative and help them understand that there will be certain products that will continue to be discounted, or services that we're going to continue to maintain at the same rate. But because obviously we are committed to maintaining a certain level of quality, this is what we've needed to adjust to maintain that level and to still provide you that next level experience. Again, where to do this, how to do this: social media, your blogs, if you're doing any podcasts, anything like that, use those opportunities to tell those stories. People like to hear that stuff. They like to understand why it is what it is. And if they're a brand lover, if they're somebody who is behind your company and your brand, they're not going to question it. They're going to continue to work with you. They're going to continue to buy your products, your services, and whatnot. The worst thing that'll happen is if you do have people that are just there to kick the tires and try to get the cheapest, deal on everything, they're probably going to leave, and that's okay. They will no longer be a customer, and that's not going to hurt anything, because those aren't necessarily the people you wanted anyway. Love conversations like this. Love talking about these topics. If you have a topic or something you'd like to chat about, please feel free to hit me up at mike@cyberdogsmarketing.com. Check us out online at cyberdogsmarketing.com, or be certain to follow us on social media. Look forward to hearing from you.